Hi, this is AMK. You're watching part 9 of my extensive deep dive into the Benoit family tragedy. This video will need to be split up into 2 parts. In this part, I will be showing Detective Harper's summary report of the text messaging detail found on both Nancy and Chris Benoit's cellular phones. And then we will take a look at the actual printout of Nancy Benoit's text messages. And then in the follow-up part to this, we will look at the printout of the text detail for Chris Benoit's cellular phone. And we'll see what kind of conversations Chris and Nancy had with each other in the days and even in the month leading up to this incident on the weekend of June 22nd through the 24th of 2007, and see if we can find a motive. Because if you've been watching this series, you know that police have been having a difficult time figuring out events that could have led to the incident that happened that weekend. So we'll see if they found anything in these text messages that could point them in the direction of finding a motive. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, why not subscribe? It's free. Give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing so far, and share with anyone you think might be interested. And I also want to apologize for how long it took me to get this part out. Every once in a while, I suffer from crushing depression, and that's why I'm not working right now, which is why I started doing this. I'm feeling better. And on a related note, if anyone would like to donate to my Cash App, the link is in the description box below. Anything will be greatly appreciated. With that out of the way, let's get into this part 9. Alright, so this is where we left off in part 8 with the residential and the Verizon phone information. And then we already went through the Delta Airlines flight change. So next we are going to go through the text messaging information. We learned earlier that text messaging information for the cellular phones only included date, time, and the number the text was sent to or received from. Remember that? I'll put a screenshot here. Verizon had experienced some sort of issue, and they were only able to retrieve, as it says here, the date, the time, and the number that the text was sent or received from. But they used a phone software called BitPim that they downloaded from the internet, and Detective Shelton was able to gain access to text messages stored in both of the Benoit's cellular phones. So hooray for Detective Shelton. And we still have to look at Detective Shelton's supplemental report. That gets really interesting. He looks at the Wikipedia mystery, and he talks to the pastor about the Bibles and the searches on the internet. But we are focusing on text messaging today. So let's see what they found. Text messaging details from the cellular phones were consistent with reports that 2 of Benoit's co-workers were sent text messages from both of the Benoit's cellular phones. The first message was sent from Chris Benoit's cellular phone at 4:53 a.m. on June 24th, 2007. And then that would have been the Sunday. That's the day they allege Chris Benoit committed suicide. The message was sent to Chavito Guerrero and Scott James. The message stated, "The dogs are in the enclosed pool area. Garage side door is open." Before I forget, garage side door is open. Remember when the neighbor approached the home when she went there to take care of the dogs for the police, and the neighbor approached the home to take the dogs into the cages? The garage door was open. At 4:54 a.m., a second message was sent from Chris Benoit's cellular phone. This message was also sent to Chavito Guerrero and Scott James. This message read, "Chavo, Scott, my physical address is 130 Green Meadow Lane, Fayetteville, Georgia, 30215. At 4:54 a.m. and 4:55 a.m. on June 24th, 2 separate messages were sent from Nancy Benoit's cellular phone. These messages were sent to Chavito Guerrero and Scott James. So the messages are coming from both Chris and Nancy's phone to both Chavo and Scott. And they're coming at just about exactly the same time, and they're saying the exact same thing. Both messages read, "Chavo, Scott, my physical address is 130 Green Meadow Lane, Fayetteville, Georgia, 30215. Then at 4:58 a.m. on June 24th, a separate message was sent to Scott James, which simply stated, "My address is 130 Green Meadow Lane, Fayetteville, Georgia." Just before the text messages were sent to Chavito Guerrero and Scott James, I noticed a text sent from Nancy Benoit's cellular phone to Chris Benoit's cellular phone. The message was sent at 4 a.m. on June 24th, but did not appear as a received message on Chris Benoit's phone. It didn't appear. The message was sent but never received. Interesting. And in case you didn't already notice, this message was sent after Nancy Benoit's approximate time of death, but it appeared to be a message written by Nancy. So, okay, police geniuses, how do you explain that? The same message appears as a sent message from Nancy Benoit's phone to Chris Benoit's phone on May 26, 2007. It appears Chris Benoit attempted to resend the message. Okay, but what proof do they have that Benoit resent this? They can't just assume this. The message gives some insight into one of the issues that may have been causing stress in the Benoit relationship. Okay, so they find a message. Let's follow this here. They find a message sent after Nancy Benoit's approximate time of death, but it appeared to be a message written by Nancy. So I guess to explain that, because they have to validate their approximation of the time of Nancy's death, they're just going to say it appears Chris attempted to resend the message. So, okay, but they can't just claim that. They need proof of that. Did they find Chris's fingerprints on Nancy's phone? Did they fingerprint anything in the home? Because if you haven't noticed, they haven't mentioned any fingerprints. And what was the message? The message read, quote, "If you wanted your ex-wife to have your retirement fund, you would have given it to her 10 years ago at the divorce. If you wanted her to have more, you wouldn't have tried to hide your money. Now it's the point. We are married. I come first." End quote. So, what possible reason of all the messages in Nancy's phone, which we're going to look at some of them, if he was going to try to resend a message, I guess to make it appear that Nancy was still alive after her time of death, why choose this one? But I think the more obvious question here is, did they consider the possibility that their time of death that they approximate for Nancy could be wrong? And I'm going to remind you again, for probably the 100th time, it was warmer in that room above the garage where Nancy was found. It was 82 degrees. I think that these deaths occurred closer together, perhaps even all on the same day, and not over a weekend as they have determined. I'm not really ready to go into much detail yet, but if you're interested in knowing my opinion, I'm leaning towards Daniel dying first. Probably on Saturday, but I'm thinking more possibly that Friday evening. And I have reasons for my assumptions, but I'm not quite ready to get into that yet. There's still a few more pieces of this puzzle I want to show you first, but let's keep going. The remaining text message detail contained in Chris and Nancy Benoit's cellular phones provided several clues into their relationship in the months leading up to June 25, 2007. These text messages were sent during the months of May and June 2007. So this, if you've been watching this series of videos, then this makes me happy because they're actually looking at interactions between these two outside of just the narrow scope of June. So let's see what they found. A message sent from Nancy to Chris on May 9th, 2007 simply stated, quote, "One night you're texting, 'I love you' during the day. You want to talk to me. Get off the crap you're on. It's making you passive aggressive and I don't need the abuse." End quote. On the same day, May 9th, Nancy Benoit sent 2 more messages to Chris. The first stated, quote, "Your big claim, ask anyone you work with how you are. No one knows what goes on behind closed doors. And the excuses about not being able to see your kids is your failure in putting no effort to them. Paying out lots of money sending for them twice a year is a far cry for being a dad. You need to get it together. I will not accept this steroid-induced roller coaster ride of emotional abuse. Ignoring the problem or running away isn't going to help you face it. You need professional, and only if you're fully honest about all of it. You need professional. I'm pretty sure she means professional help. And of course, she's mentioning the steroids. I'm losing my voice already. Whatever. I'm not stopping. The second message read, quote, "You don't get it. I do not accept your emotional and verbal abuse. You want to talk to me, you're gonna have to put more effort into it than this." End quote. The following day, on May 10th, 2007, Nancy sent a text message that read, quote, "You are a grown man with 3 kids. Set the example. Are you trying to say this is how you grew up, watching your dad call your mom names and make her cry? No, then what gives you the right? Grow up, you're 40 for mighty sakes. Get off of the stuff. It's obvious. I'm probably not the only one who can see, and we both know the wellness program is a joke." I'm pretty sure this wellness program she's talking about is the WWE's wellness program, where they monitor how their talent is doing and testing and making sure that, they're not using. But what gets me is she says it's obvious. I'm probably not the only one who can see. Now, I feel like it's obvious isn't really something that you would expect someone to say if they knew for sure that their assertion was true. Although you might expect that from someone who believes they know something to be true without actually having any proof or knowledge of that thing, whatever it may be. This sounds more like she's trying to convince him that she knows, or convince herself that she's right. But if Nancy had seen him while he was in the process of bee stinging, as Nancy had referred to it, I'm not sure it's obvious would be the way she would confront him about this. I would expect something more in line with, like, you don't even hide it, or I caught you, I saw you, instead of it's obvious. And I'm probably not the only one who can see. And this was back in May. So maybe she did see it after this time. I think that in the statements they did say that she saw him doing it, I believe. So again, I'm not passing any kind of judgment on Nancy for any of her actions. I'm merely trying to objectively observe from the outside. That's all. Let's keep going. Some messages also corroborated statements made by Nancy's friends about Chris being distant from his family and how upset Nancy had become over Chris not stepping up and being a real father for his 3 children. But see, Nancy's friends keep saying Chris is distant from his family, but we have the evidence that on the day that apparently he got so upset that he killed Nancy, they were cooking out. It just doesn't make sense to me. But let's see what these messages were. One message states, quote, "If you haven't figured, Daniel knows how to dial your cell by pushing phone book and scrolling to Chris' cell. He's mad at me because you haven't called. Be an adult and call. It won't take much more for him realize it's not me he's mad at. He's not a baby anymore, and a message isn't going to be enough." End quote. Other messages concerning Daniel stated, quote, "Daniel has been calling you. You need to call him, and me too. This has gone on long enough. I tried to talk to you. You could have been at home yesterday." And, quote, "Daniel has called twice today. What, you can't bother with him either." End quote. Other text messages saved in Nancy Benoit's phone show how upset she was over the lack of time Chris put into his 2 other children and how Chris Benoit's ex-wife appeared so ungrateful for the money Chris provides. Why, if you're saving messages in your phone, why are these the messages you're choosing to save? Even in court, if she was trying to retain custody of Daniel or something, if they were to get divorced, text messages that you send don't prove anything. It's just one-sided. And if you're the one trying to win custody, then what you say isn't exactly going to be enough evidence alone. Now, if you have responses that provide context to those saved messages, sure, that could be beneficial in a custody case or a protection from abuse order, but I don't know. And then another thing I notice is they say she was upset over the lack of time Chris put into his other 2 children, but he has a trust fund set up for his other 2 children, then Nancy was upset about that. And she says how Chris's ex-wife appeared so ungrateful for the money Chris provides. Well, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but from what I see, based on what I'm reading in these police documents, it seems to me that Nancy is ungrateful that he's providing this money to his ex-wife and his other 2 children. My mom used to tell me when I was little, be careful pointing fingers at somebody, because when you point a finger, there are 3 fingers pointing back at you. That's the kind of thing that's going through my head right here. Seems like communication was a big problem with these 2. On May 22nd, 2007, Nancy sent a message to Chris that stated, quote, "Money orders every month can't give hugs. You should keep working. Wouldn't want the ex to miss another 4 weeks paid while you send for your annual I'm a great father summer holiday." End quote. Man, Nancy is brutal with the text messages. On May 26, 2007, Nancy sent a text to Chris that read, quote, "What's 60,000 times 10? 600,000. Boy, I feel sorry for you. All that money, time, and effort, and still no thank you. No thanks for the trips every year, twice, 3 times at least a year. I wonder, does anyone really know when they go to bed at night or eat a meal or wear the clothes they put on, how tired you are at the end of the week, or how very, very hard it is to work for 600,000? Nope, it's much easier to have it handed to you with 4 weeks paid holiday. Yup, no idea what you've lost. No need to worry, I'll make sure your sacrifices are well known." Ouch, oh my gosh, Nancy. The majority of the text messages saved in Chris Benoit's cellular phone were back and forth messages to coworkers about travel plans. So we've got like a big difference here. These are the messages Nancy had saved in her phone, and they are not very nice. And then it says the majority of the text messages saved in Chris Benoit's phone were just back and forth messages to coworkers about travel plans. So, again, where's the rage? Just as an observer, reading the differences in these text messages between Nancy and Chris Benoit, if you ask me which one I thought had an anger problem, I hate to say it, but my goodness. But before I say anything, let's see what Detective Harper has to say about the messages that were found in Chris's phone. 2 of the messages sent to Chris Benoit's phone were to advise him of the deaths of wrestling friends. One of the messages was sent March 6th, 2007, and the second was sent June 24th. It was apparent from statements made by friends and from a journal written in by Chris Benoit, and I've got some shit to say about that, because whether or not that journal is his, debatable, because it wasn't found in the home, it was found in the trash outside the home after the police had released the crime scene. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It was apparent from statements made by friends and from a journal, blah blah blah, that he struggled with the death of his close wrestling friend Eddie Guerrero. And yeah, I think that was pretty well known. I don't think that fact is disputed. Chris Benoit also struggled with the death of other wrestling colleagues that have passed away at early ages. So people say he was acting paranoid. And well, given the number of his colleagues who had died, I guess he had the right to feel at least a little paranoid. Who's next, right? Other text messages in Chris Benoit's cellular phone show a sharp contrast to the messages found in Nancy Benoit's cellular phone. Well, okay, so at least you recognize that. I mean, it goes on. 3 messages in Chris Benoit's phone sent to Nancy Benoit were sent to let her know when he would arrive home, to tell her good morning, and that he loves her. These messages were sent between June 12th and June 20th, 2007. The messages sent in June seemed to show a different attitude or a more upbeat relationship with his wife than the messages sent to Chris from Nancy in May. Well then okay, so you're clearly recognizing the fact here that between these 2, messages from Nancy, not very nice. Messages from Chris, just stuff about work and travel. There's a sharp contrast to the messages, and you even acknowledge that the messages sent between June 12th and June 20th, leading up to this brutal, rage-filled murder suicide weekend, there's a different attitude, a more upbeat relationship than the messages Nancy sent to Chris. I'm gonna say again, where's the rage? If this would be presented to a jury in a court of law, would the evidence as presented here in these police files, would this convict Benoit beyond a reasonable doubt? What do you think? Comment below. And that's all that is in Detective Harper's summary as far as text message detail, but we do have copies of the text detail from both Nancy and Chris's phones. And boy, they're juicy, they're fun. And we have a lot more text message detail from Chris's phone than we do from Nancy's. And since we already sort of covered the majority of Nancy's text messages in this summary, we're just going to jump now and go through the ones that weren't mentioned in the summary. I'm going to show you all of them, but the ones that were mentioned in Detective Harper's report, I'm going to mark with a blue dot so that I don't have to keep repeating this one was already mentioned, and I will just be skipping over reading those. So let's go there now. Okay, so this is the first page of the text message detail from Nancy Benoit's phone. I'll scroll up just so you can see. This is the end of the Verizon cell phone data, so there's nothing before this. And we have 3 pages. And now remember, the ones that I have a blue dot next to, we already went through in Detective Harper's summary. So I'm not going to read through them again. I also should point out that right here, you will see the date and the time that the message was sent. Here we have some from and to information. Some of this is redacted, but further down, you will see some numbers. And then here's priority, whether it was read, whether it was saved or locked in the phone. And right here, you will see whether it was sent or whether it was received. So let's look through here. And actually, I'm pretty sure this first text was mentioned in Detective Harper's report, but I don't have it marked here, so I'll just read it anyway. On May 5th, 2007 at 8 p.m., Daniel has called twice today. What, you can't bother with him either. And then skipping the next 4, we already read through those. And remember, these are all messages that Nancy had saved in her phone. And here we are at May 10th at 10:28 p.m. Just got message, marriage comes before children, get real. And I looked through Chris's text detail, and I can't find any text sent from his phone around this time and date that would make sense for this text from Nancy as a response. So, like I said earlier, when there's only one side of the conversation, context gets a little lost, and it's not very likely this would actually prove anything in a courtroom. And then skipping to the next one. On May 12th, 2007, at 8:55 a.m. I tried to put an end to this. You're the one who is dragging it out. It's stupid. You could have been home last. So I'm not sure if she meant last night, last weekend, but then she says, you're doing. And then skipping the next one, on May 22nd, 2007 at 11:20 p.m. And we are right here. In the box of charms your mom sent, the German Christmas ornament would not have bothered me had she not kept asking about it, especially when she kept asking about it on my birthday. She tried to ignore me on Mother's Day. I called back twice. So when your parents do come, I will confront your mom. She has put me in the middle this time. I'll handle it. 10 years now, haven't been here, and now still can't come when the kids are together. My folks are coming just for the kids' summer holiday. Effort. Second on my list to help. We asked when I had the big surgery 2 years ago. It's enough already. No more excuses. Just be real. Jeez, that is nasty. And skipping this next one, and it's split up between the pages. And then May 26, 2007 at 5:53 p.m., it just says message delivered as plain text. Destination does not support enhanced messaging service. So I'm not sure what that would have been. Again, there's nothing in Chris's text detail that would add context to that. And we already talked about these next 2. And then this text right here, now this is the message that they say Chris tried to resend. And we'll see that further down on the page. Now here we have stuff coming in the inbox. Let's look at these dates. So we have on 6/12 and on 6/13. At 6:36 p.m. on 6/12, hi honey, I arrive in at 9:41 a.m. See you then, love you. And then the next day at 6:46 in the morning, good morning, honey. See you soon. Love you. And then on 6/17 at 4:01 p.m., Nancy sent grow up. And it might interest you to know that in the year 2007, June 17th was actually Father's Day. And again, in Chris's text detail, no context to this grow up message. And here's the thing, with the phone numbers redacted here, we honestly don't even know whether or not these were sent to Chris or to somebody else, because they didn't limit the text message detail to just text between Chris and Nancy, and you'll see that when we get into Chris's text message detail. So, and then on 6/17, Father's Day at 4:23 p.m., these are all sent now again. Answer the phone, I need to know what the plan is. And then that same day, a few minutes later, at 4:35 p.m., if I end up having to throw away any food again for tonight and tomorrow, I will not be cooking any meals for anyone for a very long time. And then still the same day, Father's Day, 5:09 p.m., answer the phone, I need to know what the plan is. And then at 5:38 p.m., if I end up having to throw away any food again for tonight and tomorrow, I will not be cooking any meals for anyone for a very long time. And still, that same day, Father's Day, again, at 11:06 p.m., answer the phone, I need to know what the plan is. And again, numbers are redacted, no context can be gained from Chris's text details, so make of all of that what you will, whatever the plan was. And keep in mind the timeline here, we're getting into that weekend. 6/20/2007, 4:03 a.m. Hi, Nancy. I arrive at 8:43 a.m. See you then. 6/24/2007 at 4 o'clock a.m. Remember, the 24th of June is the day Chris supposedly committed suicide. And this is the text that investigators allege that Chris resent from Nancy's phone, because according to their timeline, Nancy was already deceased on this date. And this is the text that reads, if you wanted your ex-wife to have your retirement fund, you would have given it to her 10 years ago at the divorce. If you wanted her to have more, you wouldn't have tried to hide your money. Now it's the point. We are married. I come first. And I also think this is the text that they say was sent from Nancy's phone but was not received on Chris's phone. I'll put a screenshot right here. Now we have here 6:24, 4:54 a.m. and 4:55 a.m. Now we have coming from Nancy's phone, Chavo, Scott, my physical address is 130 Green Meadow Lane, Fayetteville, Georgia, 30215. Now, what's strange about these texts is that in these columns are the sent from and sent to phone numbers. And we have some text message numbers here. But what I want to draw your attention to is this. These numbers here, if anybody watching has any idea or any explanation why so many numbers for these specific messages, please comment below. Because when I Google this thread of numbers, I'll put a screenshot here of what comes up. It suggests Honda car parts and Russian number stations, and that is a whole nother rabbit hole. If that is somehow connected here, that is insane. If you've seen the TV show Lost, you're probably familiar at least a little bit with number stations, but I will put in the description below links to a YouTube video and to articles explaining about Russian number stations. So I'm hoping somebody can kind of let me know what these numbers might be. There has got to be a more logical, more simpler explanation than a Russian number station. Otherwise, this case just took a whole turn south to Conspiracyville. And there's no coming back from that. So somebody please comment below and tell me that this is normal. But I'm just going to move on for now. Then we have an inbox, just, your message from Verizon. And now again, here we have on 6/24/07 at 4:58 a.m. And see, again, this is to a number. My address is 130 Green Meadow Lane, Fayetteville, Georgia. Well, this is definitely after the time they say Nancy died, unless they're wrong. And then we have this here, whatever this is, on June 24th at 4:58 a.m. And there's another 9/11. And then at 3 minutes past midnight, 6:25, which is the day of the welfare check where they found the crime scene. Hey, Nancy, I know it is late, so don't worry about texting me back. I hope you guys are doing okay. TJ, Harry, and I want to make sure you guys are all right. And that, if I had to guess, was a message from Natalia due to her mentioning TJ and Harry. And then later that day at 1:30 p.m., please let us know you are okay. And then that is the end of Nancy's text logs. So I think I'll end this here because we have about 9 pages of text detail from Chris Benoit's phone, and that's going to take a while to get through. Since it's been a while since I uploaded anything, I'm going to go ahead and get this on YouTube, and I'll get the follow-up to this video finished ASAP. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and share and subscribe so you don't miss out on upcoming videos. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about all of this. This has been AmK. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you have a great day. Bye!